Man, this city is just absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Look at this stunning view here. Welcome back, folks. We're here at the False Creek area. This is a dragon boat dock. They also do a ton of other stuff here, like shell rowing and boat rental, etc. How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. All right, look at this beautiful area, guys. We're here to do some work for the lovely dragon boat people. Okay, want to tell me what you guys lost?
The big thing that we lost is our mats. So we have mats that we put our outrigger canoes on so that they don't scratch on the dock. And when the wind comes up, it blows them and we lose them in the water.
Didn't I say super glue the things to the dock last time?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing we tend to lose is the mats.
How many do we lose?
Ooh, I've only been here a few months, and I think we've already lost 3 in the last few months.
So
probably more than that.
So the last time Enor asked me to come and get it, I think he said we lost 4, and I found 12. So
we're probably somewhere around there again. We've lost at least 4 at this point.
All right, okay. Well, let me get in the water. Let's see what we can find for you.
All right.
How much do you figure one of these shells are worth? $10,000 for one of these things. Holy cow. Wow. So before we get into the trash removal portion of this video, let me just preface it by saying that how I remove these rubber mats that I'm looking for from the ocean floor is completely inappropriate and is only suitable based on a very specific set of circumstances that are unique to me and the kind of trash and the environment that I'm in. So if you are a scuba diver doing your trash removal, please do not take this as a learning experience and do not copy what I do. This is highly inappropriate. So what I'm looking for is these rubber mats, and they are laying on this very, very silty floor. And what happens is that when I run into these mats, first of all, this is the very first one that I ran into. The visibility is not too shabby, but as you can see here, as soon as I touch the first mat, I disturb the silt big time. And what happens is that when these mats are sitting on the ocean floor with the amount of silt there is, in order to actually lift it, I have to actually grab it and I have to shake it. And with every shake, it disturbs more silt, but I have to shake it because I need to actually dislodge the mat from the surface tension that's holding the mat to the actual silt that's on the ocean floor. So the way that I retrieve it is simply I hold on to the mat itself and I put a little bit of air in my dry suit, take a big breath, and I shake the mat as hard as I can, causing those billows of silt. But what that does is actually dislodges the mat from the ocean floor. This is something that I've done before. This is not the first time I've done a trash removal from this area, specifically this kind of mats. As you can see here, I'm descending back down into the water column, going through the silt cloud that I've actually created. There's a little radio that the Dragon Boat Center has dropped. Running into the second mat here, as you can see here, it's starting to get a little hard to see. And again, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing onto the mat with both hands. And another thing to note is that I don't actually know where along the mat that I've dropped, that I'm grabbing onto. So I could be grabbing onto the very end. I could be grabbing the middle. It's not all that relevant. I grab onto the left side and the right side with each hand, and I grab it and I shake as much as I can to break the surface suction, again, causing a huge silt cloud. And logic will indicate that with every mat that I dislodge from the ocean floor, I'm creating a bigger and bigger silt cloud. So what I did, the original plan was always to start from one side of the Dragon Boat Center and then slowly move along each individual finger and go towards the other end. You can see here by the third drop here, my visibility is starting to reduce, but it's still pretty good because I keep approaching clean, clear water. As I ascend, I have to take care that I'm watching for the individual fingers, the docked fingers at the top of me, that I don't actually ascend into one of those. It is pretty easy to do because I can see the bright daylight that is above me versus like the slight overcast or the shadow that's casted by the fingers of the dock. I can't remember which one we're on now. I'm either on third or fourth mat. I'm having great success. I'm having actually quite pleased with the progress that I'm making because I'm running into these mats on a really expedited pace, shall we say. really happy for the surface support, because without somebody helping pulling these things out of the water, this would be virtually impossible for me to deal with from the water level. Dropping down again, and whatever number of mats that I'm on now, definitely the silt cloud that I'm causing is starting to get really bad. So out comes the dive light. So the dive light, what it does do, it allows me to see just a little bit of ambient light. You can see here's another mat. Another point that I've made in previous cleanup videos as well too is that the GoPro, which is excellent at picking up the images in low light, is much better than the human eye. So what you're seeing here is better than what I can see in the water. The other thing as well too is that the camera is located 6 inches above my eyes because it's helmet mounted. So it's a POV shot here, but because of that, sometimes the camera itself is out of the silt cloud, but my eyes are actually in the silt cloud, so you definitely see a lot more than I do. I think it's either this mat that I'm holding on to right now, or this one that's coming up. I actually cannot see at all, and I found it just by touch. So I think this is one here coming up. That's definitely found by touch. I decided to leave this portion of the video in just to show you just how bad or what kind of poor conditions that I'm operating in. This is now, again, the camera is picking up more than what I can see. I'm feeling around and definitely found this mat by feel. I did not actually see this mat at all. You can see here even the mat has a lot of silt, the ocean muck that's stuck onto the mat, which makes it heavier actually even. This one here, this one's going to be interesting. This portion here again gets even worse than the previous attempt. I'm going to show you in a second here just how dark the water can get. This is not a blackout of the dive. This is literally what I'm seeing, completely black. This is my dive. But I'm happy to run into these mats. I'm so actually, during this dive, I was actually so pleased with myself in the sense of I was able to run into these mats over and over again. During this dive as this portion, I had no idea how many dives or how many mats I've recovered. So this portion of the dive, this is pretty much, I know this is going to be my last attempt down because of how poor the visibility of the water was. What was interesting at this point in the dive, my hand felt a tire and I was able to dislodge it, but my fin bumped into a mat that I didn't know was there, but it was my fin. So I was able to reach back, grab the mat, and recover the tire as well as the mat at the same time. And I just knew in my mind this is going to be the last one. You can see there the tire, just what I did is I snaked my arm through the tire and then just grabbed onto the mat with both hands, same way as the previous ones. But when I came up, I had to ask the surface support, take the mat out of my right hand first because I'm holding on to this tire with all that muck inside the tire making it heavier. What an interesting thing. So I was just going to go down, do a final pass, and then go towards the exit. And I am going to leave you with just a little bit of underwater sound. For people who follow me a long time, you know I don't get excited underwater, but check out my excitement underwater. Bonus points for people who can comment below and tell me what I said underwater. This is a horseshoe crab. This is definitely not supposed to be here. This is a very, very unusual find. There are 4 species of horseshoe crab. There's one that's indigenous to the east coast of the North American continent, mostly in eastern Canada and upper United States, and the other 3 species are in the Asian countries. So these are never seen here ever in the west coast of British Columbia, but there it is. I did try to turn around and get a better shot, but as you can see by the silt here, I silted the place out. It was just absolutely impossible to see this thing again. I do know exactly where it is, so if I do need to go back, I can go back and find it. But man, what an amazing find. I was so pleased. And just that last little clip went viral went viral with a lot of the news medias, made it to global news, and as well as I think Globe and Mail, which I've never been on before, which is really cool. I think Global, CBC, all of those guys mentioned it, which is pretty awesome. And here's a very, very ungraceful view of me getting out of the water because there's no swim ladder at this area here. So this is how I have to belly flop onto the dock and get out of the water this way. It just is, I almost fell back in. And of course, it's lovely to get a rinse off from the Dragon Boat Center guys. Man, I really hope I got that on video because it's really bad visible. Horseshoe crab. Holy crap. I have never seen a horseshoe crab before. I don't actually even know they're supposed to be here in our waters. They are closely related to a tick family, except imagine like a tick is this big, horseshoe crab is this big. Their fossils date back as far back as 440 million years. That is insane. I really hope that video worked out. Man, that dive was just, I was so pleased with that dive. Let me get out of my stuff. I'll go down and show you what I got. So whenever I get tasked to do something specific like this, there's always a little bit of hoping that I don't screw this dive up, right? So they were looking for 3 or 4 of these mats, and I think I found 7. So let's go have a look. So anytime I can deliver more than what they thought, I'm always really pleased with that. Oh no, yeah. So these are the mats that we're looking for, guys, right here. And as you can see here, they when they bring up their crafts, they rest them on these mats here so they don't get the bottom all scratched up. So there's 3 of them here. Picked up a few pieces of garbage, but there was a lot more garbage down there because normally, if you guys recall, I normally clean that area right there off in a distance. And so there's a lot more garbage in the water, but we just didn't bother. So, and then that's 3. There are 3 more here, and then 2 on the other side, I think. Yeah, there's 3 more right here. And then there is 1 more on the other dock over there. And then this tire right over here. Well, there we go. Thank you for the Dragon Boat guys for contacting me and allowing me to dive here. This is really cool. It was a lot of fun. Glad to get some of this stuff out of the water. But man, what a beautiful, as you can see here, people come down for rentals, they go for a paddle. And yeah, it's fun for the kids. Anyway, what a beautiful spot. All right, talk to you guys later. See you in the next one. Thank you so much. Face is frozen. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. We'll see you in the next one.